How do I let go of past trauma? The reason why people can't let go of past trauma, here's the thing, because they put themselves as victims in the trauma. What do I mean by that? Well, they say something like, my parents did this to me because I couldn't do that. I have this because of that. They never accept for themselves. Now, look, I'm not saying that you deliberately went and got the trauma, but this is how the universe works. This is how the mind and your consciousness and emotion map works. For you to get rid of trauma, you have to own it. Don't own what the people did to you. Own how you feel about the trauma. You got to accept something like this. Okay, like, dang, man, I know my parents are this person. They really abused me. But you know what? I'm going to accept this, because for me to break free, I have to forgive myself, which means I have to forgive them. Not for them, but for me. And you know what? Maybe what they were doing is because what were taught to them by their parents. You know, I always say this: love people, hurt people, hurt people. So when people get into traumas and stuff like that, it's passed down from their father. Maybe your father's father did that to you. Your mom's mom did that to her. So they have this toxic or whatever it is. It comes down and they put it on to you. But you think like, man, my parents don't love me. They hate me. Some people just don't know how. They show love differently. Like I said, hurt people, hurt people. Love people, love people. That to them, that may be their form of love. So, okay, so once you accept the trauma, right, then comes the letting it go part. So if you accept it and say, all right, man, you know what? I'm no longer going to be a victim. Because by being a victim, if you're a victim, you're never going to release any trauma. It's always going to be with you forever and ever. It's never going to go. So once you accept, say, okay, this is my responsibility. Okay, how can I use this trauma? So what you do now, you flip the trauma and you make it into something empowering. For example, you can use the trauma as a teaching moment, as a tool. So, you know, this trauma that happened in my life, it really made me more perceptive. It really made me more aware. It really made me more cautious. It really made me more da-da-da. It has to be something positive. And let me show you why. Because all traumas are stored in one place and one place only. All traumas are stored in the unconscious mind. Your traumas are never in your conscious or your awareness mind. What happens is you become aware of the trauma from the subconscious. So what most people do, they try to ignore the trauma. They try to use positive thinking alone. That can't get rid of trauma. See, you have to go into the emotional mapping. And the only way is you have to kind of what I call trick, or not even trick, but I guess you could say it, because your subconscious is so illogical. But once you tell the subconscious a new story, it's going to automatically accept it. So let's, for example, I'll go back again to the trauma thing. So you say, you know what? I accept this trauma, but you know, this was a teaching moment. Did you know your subconscious now will start to change the meaning of that trauma? So if the trauma becomes a teaching moment to you, what happens to the feelings? They start to change. So instead of you feeling hurt, emotionally upset, panic, stressed, you start to feel more cool, confident, because the meaning has changed the emotion of the trauma. See how that works? So that's how you can remove any trauma. First, own it, get out of the victim mode, and then you can let it go. And that's how you get rid of past traumatic events in your life.